Hi, I'm James Lee Jobe, and this week's poetry reading will feature poems by Stanley Plumly and his 1975 collection from Echo Press, Out of the Body Travel. Stanley Plumly was born in Ohio and grew up in Virginia. Went to Ohio University, and he helped found the Ohio Review there. He went on to run the creative writing program at the University of Maryland and lived in Frederick, Maryland, where he passed away about 6 weeks shy of his 80th birthday. His poetry is lovely and clear, and the images are concise, and it's not obscure at all. And let's just get started, shall we? Okay. By the way, this is the cover of the book, Out of the Body Travel. And the first poem in the book is called Cows. Cows. Okay. Sometime when you couldn't sleep it off, you'd go outside and sing to the cows, and they'd sing back, "Moon, moon." I could hear you all night from my room, a bowl and stall blowing across the top of the bottle. I can hear you now, here in this room, as I have, poem after poem. As just a moment ago, almost down, you came breaking back into the house, my father's house, my room. You couldn't sleep it off. You went out into the dark, got lost almost. I hear the cows. The moon's still up. The doomed moon. All this time, I've stayed awake with you. And this is called The Iron Lung. I'll be skipping through the book. That was the first poem, and this is the second poem in the collection. So starts off very powerfully. So this is the dust that passes through porcelain. So this is the unwashed glass left over from supper. So this is the air in the attic in August. And this the down on the breath of the sleeper. If we could fold our arms, but we can't. If we could cross our legs, but we can't. If we could put the mind to rest. But our fathers have set this task before us. My face moons in the mirror, weightless without air, my head propped like a penny. I'm dressed in a shoe, ready to walk out of here. I'm wearing my father's body. I remember my mother standing in the doorway trying to tell me something. The day is thick, with the heat rising from the road. I'm too far away. She looks like my sister. And I'm dreaming of my mother in a doorway telling my father to die or go away. It is the front door, and my drunken father falls to the porch on his knees like one of his children. It is precisely at this moment I realize I have polio and will never walk again. And I'm in the road on my knees like my father, but as if I were growing into the ground. I can neither move nor rise. The neighborhood is gathering, and now my father is lifting me into the ambulance among the faces of my family. His face is a blur or a bruise, and he holds me as if I had just been born. When I wake, I'm breathing out of all proportion to myself. My body is a lung. I am floating above a doorway or a grave. I know I'm in this breathing room as one who understands how breath is passed from father to son and passed back again. At night, when my father comes to talk, I tell him we've shared this body long enough. He nods like the speaker in a dream. He knows that I know we're only talking. Once there was a machine for breathing. It would embrace the body and make a kind of love. And when it was finished, it would rise like nothing at all above the earth. to drift through the daylight silence. But at dark in deep summer, if you thought you heard something like your mother's voice calling you home, you could lie down where you were and listen to the dead. Very powerful. One of the things that drew me to read this collection was the alcoholism of the father. I too am the son of an alcoholic father. Rainbow. Taking its time through each of the 7 vertebrae of light, the sun comes down. It is 1949. You stand in the doorway drying your hands. It is still summer, still raining. The evening is everywhere gold, windows, grass, the sun side of the trees. As if to speak to someone, you look back into the dark of the house, call my name, go in. I know I'm dreaming again. Still it is raining and the sun is shining. You came back out into the doorway, shading your eyes. It looks as if the whole sky is going down on one wing. By now I have my hands above my eyes, listening. And this is Wages. My depression mother in a tin house. My depression father in a tin box. It's raining. Nobody wants to get out of bed. Nobody wants the morning dark. Her voice like money in a tin cup. Her voice like money in a tin cup. My father wept who would not work. All over Ohio, the mills are warming up and whole grain in Kansas burning. Nobody's starving. Nobody's going to die. We're sleeping till sunlight this morning. But who will not work shall not eat. Even my sleepwalking mother tells this truth, cursing the cost of living. Let's skip to the last poem in the book, After Grief, and we'll close with this poem. When you woke among them, when you rose, when you got up and they asked you what you were, is it named? And you in your new clothes, and face and body lined dry with newspaper. When you climbed out of the coffin and began to walk, alive, like a rainbow, one of them said, without a word, in this place of skull and femur, stone and the sounds of water. When you walked up to the one talking, his face a face of the moon, and started to speak, he said, "No need. I know who you are." All this recorded in the first book, The Dream, and the blessing of the death each day. And tonight, bedded down, mind adrift, the body just a few feet from earth, it is written, "There is the river, go wash yourself." And you asked, "What is this place?" The one without a face answered, "Look around you, this is where you are." I remember how even near the end you would go out to your garden just before dark in the blue air and brood over the failures of corn or cabbage or the crooked row, but meaning the day had once more failed for you. I watched you as any son watches his father, like prophecy, and in my mind I counted the 1,000 things to say. And tonight again it is written, and the one talking said, "Father, forgive everything. Leave these clothes, this body. Lie down in the water, be whole." And having done so, you rose among them who were called the bones, without flesh or face. All this recorded in the dream unending. The first death was the death of the Father, and whosoever be reborn in sons, so shall they also be reborn. In the book of the dead are names, the weight of the continents. At each rising of the waters shall the earth be washed. This is the dream that holds the planet in place, and you, my anonymous father, will be with me when I wake. Stanley Plumly, from Out of the Body Travel, Echo Press, 1975. I'm James Lee Jobe. Thank you so much.